I'm Meg, I lift at Charnwood Barbell. I've been here for about 2.5, 3 years, so yeah.
Okay, so we just had a comp on Sunday at Orr. So we're going to have a little bit of a chat about how that went and leading up to that. So first question, how do you feel the comp went?
I haven't been on the platform for a while, so I had no expectations to hit PBs at this comp. I just really just wanted to get out there again and just get back to having a goal to compete and not just train. And so overall I'm quite happy with how it went. I mean, I didn't hit my first opener, which put me on a bit of a wobble, but other than that I was just happy to be back on the platform, hitting numbers that I was quite happy with in the end.
How did you feel leading up to the comp?
Leading up to the comp was a bit rocky. Training hadn't been going too well for a bit, but like I said, I just wanted to get back on the platform. I had no pressure on myself. The last few weeks of training went quite well actually, so I was quite happy with that.
How did your warm-up go and how was the warm-up area?
Warm-up started off all right, and then I just got to 45 kilos and my body decided that warm-ups were no longer going to feel all right, which then stressed me out a little bit, but we did it, we made it. Warm-up area, I feel like it was a little cramped, but everyone's respectful of each other when you're back there. If someone's lifting, then you know to move out of the way. Same as if you're lifting, you always ask to borrow a plate. So yeah, I didn't feel like the warm-up area was too bad in the end.
What goes through your mind when going up to the platform for your opener?
I don't know, maybe just make it, try and make it. I always panic that I'm going to completely forget how to lift and just have a mind blank and then just not going to be able to do my opener. Like technique's just going to go out the window, or I'm just going to get in my head and not be able to lift it. So I just try and blank myself out, focus on a point and just go, you've done this multiple times before, and just do the best I can.
How does it feel when you get your first made lift?
I definitely feel there's less pressure because I know for me that clean and jerks are my stronger point. So as soon as I get that first snatch, I know that hopefully I will get a total, because like I say, for snatch for me, it's the trickier of the two lifts. So if I know I can get my snatch, I feel a bit more relaxed then going into my next lift.
How do you think your snatch performance was?
I know I said I went into this competition with no pressure on myself, but not opening at what I wanted and then not hitting my first opener did knock my confidence a little bit. I was hoping to open on 48 and unfortunately, like I said, warm-ups didn't quite go well, so we opened on 45, which I missed the first time. So, yeah.
Why do you think you ended up being a little bit wobbly in the warm-up for your snatches? What caused that? Because on the lead up of your warming up, you were looking strong, quick, everything went really well. So why do you think that might have happened for you?
Yeah, like I said, I was feeling really good, had loads of energy, and then for me personally, I get quite nervous with big events anyway, and especially when people start to argue with referees or umpires or officials, and that always puts me on edge because I'm not a confrontational person at all. And when I was watching another lifter, like supporting another lifter, their coach didn't slightly agree with the judges and he raised his voice a little bit, and from then on my body just went in, like I couldn't feel my legs. I just got quite nervous about being around him, and obviously he had athletes in my category, so yeah, from then on I just had to try and settle my nerves from then.
Yeah. Which you did, and you made your lift and
managed to do it
really well. So how do you think your performance went with the clean and jerks?
I was happy with my clean and jerk performance. I think at that point I had quite a bit of an adrenaline, and I was happy to be back on the platform once I'd made that snatch in the end. Yeah, I was happy to get 60 on the platform. I was hoping to get the 63, and the clean went up really well, which I didn't manage to hit that in training a few weeks ago, but unfortunately missed out on the jerk. The judges thought there was a slight press out when I was recovering, which was unfortunate, but hey ho, stuff happens.
Yeah, bit of salsa dancing.
Yeah, I respect their decision.
Overall, are you happy with what you've achieved on the comp?
I think, yeah. I know I told myself that don't go in with any expectations, don't go in to hit PBs, but it's always disheartening. Even though I told myself, if as long as I get a total, I'm really happy, just happy to be back lifting on the platform. Part of me wishes that some miracle had happened and I was lifting PBs, but I know with how stuff has been the past few months that wasn't going to happen. So overall, to get a total similar numbers to what I was hitting maybe a year ago, then yeah, I'm happy.
What did you struggle most with in terms of training and or comps?
I'd say training, I get in my head a lot. As soon as it gets to numbers that I know is near a PB or around a number that I know I always struggle with lifting, like getting in my head and thinking it's going to be too heavy or I can't do it, I definitely struggle with that aspect of training. So I find it really difficult to try and lift new numbers because my brain just goes into overdrive. Comp wise, when I'm opening, it depends on the lead up. So the week before comp, I was hitting all my openers comfortably. Obviously that didn't happen on comp day, but yeah, I think it's all to do with numbers in my head, unfortunately.
Yeah. What do you think your strengths were during training and in comp?
I think maybe my attitude towards training, even though sometimes stuff doesn't go wrong, I still show up every day, and I know it sounds a bit like cringe, but I do just turn up to each session, try and forget what happened in the last session and just come with a blank slate and try and just look at what I've got to do and just try and hit those numbers no matter what.
Yeah, awesome. What is your favourite lift?
Clean and jerk.
Would it be more clean? Would it be the jerk?
The jerks.
I think it shows.
Yeah.
What would you say to someone if they're looking to compete for the first time?
I'd say just go in there to have fun. I think it's quite easy for athletes or just anybody doing a competition or anything to put a lot of pressure on themselves to do well, and obviously you want to do well, but especially in your first comp. I mean, I remember for my first comp, obviously you have no numbers, official numbers on the BWL website to beat or... So yeah, I'd say just have fun. Do what you normally do and just see how it goes. You don't have to compete again if you don't want to, but I think personally competing is quite good to keep me on my toes and just to have an official record of how well I'm doing, and it's nice to see yourself against other people in your category.
Yeah. Are you looking to compete again soon?
I'm definitely looking to compete again, yeah. How soon? We'll just see how training goes, because I know I've got a lot of little technical things that I need to improve on and work really hard on, so I definitely want to get those better before I decide to step on the platform again.
Have you got any goals next? Anything you want to try and achieve?
I think a bodyweight snatch would be cool. I think that's definitely a goal. And maybe, yeah, just improve on my numbers, get more confident in myself and just know that I can do it and try not to maybe focus more on the psychology side and getting out of my head with when it comes to new lifts.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the world?
Join Charnwood Barbell. No, I think if you're looking to do a sport like ollie lifting or competing, whether you don't want to compete or you do want to compete, I generally think it's a great atmosphere in our club. I'm going to say that obviously, but also competitions. Like, yes, you go out there individually as an athlete, but everyone supports each other. Like, you'll have people, like athletes you're competing against, cheering at you for the sideline, because at the end of the day, everyone wants you to lift well. No one wants you to not leave the competition with a total. And I think the atmosphere is just so nice to see everyone supporting each other, because yes, you are competing against each other, but you're also just trying to better yourself, do your own PBs and see how far you can push yourself as an individual, not necessarily there to beat everybody in your category.